Hi, I'm Hadi Abassi, president of Vancouver Island Raiders, coming on tonight with Jeff and Paul on Game On TV.
Yeah, nice, yeah. That's too easy.
Could I just say I'm Coach Snoop, or did I have to say I'm Matthew Blokker?
Don't fumble.
I'm Coach Snoop from the Vancouver Island Raiders. Coming up next on Game On with Jeff and Paul.
Nice. There we go.
Hi, I'm Coach Snoop from the Vancouver Island Raiders.
Hi, I'm Hadi Abassi from Vancouver Island Raiders, and you're watching Game On.
Yes. There we go, fellas. You're rocking. Right.
It's Game On.
Tonight, we talk playoff hockey as the Canucks and Salmon Kings look to move on.
Golf can be frustrating, so we try to find you the perfect ball.
And we're talking Vancouver Island Raiders in the sports cage. It's Game On.
Game On is brought to you by Jenner Chevrolet Buick GMC. Here for you and in your community on the Old Island Highway. Game On's Sports Cage is brought to you by Country Grocer. You'll feel like family.
Welcome back to Game On and the Sports Cage, and Paul and I are very happy to welcome a couple special guests all the way from Nanaimo. They motored down. We welcome President of Vancouver Island Raiders, Hadi Abassi, and Head Coach Matt Snoop Blokker. And first of all, Hadi, how is the purchase of the BC Lions coming along?
It's coming along good. We've been instructed by the lawyers not to say anything, so we can't make any comments.
Really? Okay.
Well, that makes for good. Yeah.
And a question I wanted to ask you for quite a while, Matt, is Snoop. How did the nickname Snoop come about?
I was very fortunate when I moved to the island. I was playing on a men's flag team, and they were called the Dogs.
Oh, okay.
And at that point in time, there was no members that skin color was anything more than white.
Right.
So they thought, as a joke, considering the team was called the Dogs, they would call me Snoop Dogg. And anyways, it's one of those nicknames that it stuck, and don't get called Matthew very often.
No, I guess you don't.
I'm usually in trouble when I hear the name Matthew.
That's right.
So, yeah.
All right, we'll refer to you as Snoop from here on out.
Yeah.
I guess
Sounds
the football season is about a month away, but it's been probably going full tilt for you for the last little while, as busy in the recruiting stage, I got to assume, for this season.
Yeah, it is. In the recruiting and building, our team and program, like you have to every year. And objectives, I think that we've learned is every year is a new year. So you have to forget about the year before, and you can't try to duplicate it. It's a lot of work, but it's also a lot of fun.
Yeah, and a lot of success with the program. And how do you just maybe walk us through, how you got involved and bringing the team to Nanaimo and just about the winning program that you guys have established?
I got involved in 2003 when Snoop recruited Dominic, my son, to come and play for the Rebels in Victoria. And I became a fan of the football team, and I watched the game, and I became involved with them close to the end of the season, and they won the BC Championship. It was an amazing trip for all of us, and I enjoyed it so much, and I love the kids, the coaching staff, and the game. I just wanted to be a part of it, and that's how we got into it.
You guys are such a dominant junior football team, and you talked about trying to duplicate a team, but that's got to be so tough because in junior football, you got the kids moving on, you got the kids aging out. How do you stay on top of it? Is it all in recruiting, or is it word of mouth through the players who have gone through the program?
Oh, I think recruiting, the best recruiters in the world are your players.
Right.
And, once they graduate, we got a motto, and it's called replace yourself. And if you want to be a real Raider when you graduate, then you better replace yourself. And we're still bugging Andrew Harris because he's got to send us six or seven, right? He's got to send us 6 or 7 guys to make it even. But no, our guys have done a great job. And whenever we come back somewhere, we're recruiting. There's always new kids, and it's always because of our ex-players.
Oh yeah, tell me about Nanaimo and how they've embraced it. Not only for you, Hadi, not only the football team, but you're involved and own the lacrosse team as well. Tell me about the sporting community in Nanaimo and how they've embraced the teams.
What is the 22 years I've lived in Nanaimo, it's been one of the most generous city through the corporate, through the people and everything. It's a dream place. It's a dream place to have a sports team or anything and wanted to have a dream and want to make something. If you're going to do it, in my opinion, you got to be in Nanaimo.
Very cool.
That's it.
Well said.
I want to talk to you about the upcoming season because last year didn't end as planned or as you'd like to, losing in the Canadian Bowl. I mean, What does that do to you as far as incentive? Does that change the mindset at all heading into the next year, or is it you have the pieces?
When you lose, you want to forget.
Yeah.
So you want to forget about the season, you want to start over, and there's a whole different energy. When you win, well, you don't want to forget, and you want to keep all those memories alive, and you never want to stop it, right? But you have to. So there's different,
because you need to turn the page.
You got to turn the page, and you got to forget about last year, and you got to wipe it off, and it can't mean anything. We didn't win, so it's pretty easy for us now to forget about last year and take the positives from it, and away we go. But one thing about last year's team that we're really excited about, I compare, when you look at all the different teams we had, I really felt it was one of our hardest working teams we have ever had. Once you taste it, and then it drives you, and not winning and having that chance to win 3 in a row where we were last year and everything else, that really hurt.
Yeah, tell me about that, Hadi, because I mean, here's a team that if you look at most teams, and they win the BCFC and they lose out in the Canadian Championship, they still look at this season as this huge success. Whereas you guys, really, if you don't win the whole thing,
it's Canadian Championship or bust.
Right? That's sort of what you guys have built there.
Yeah, I mean, excuse me, if you come to our training camp, number 1 day, or when the season starts, when you come to the classroom, you will see right on top of the board says goal, national championship.
Right.
Then everything else, all the other goals are there. But we all know, and that's why we've tasted the victory, and even the whole city in Nanaimo, they will not accept it unless we win the championship. And why kid yourself if you're not going for the Holy Grail? Just stop messing around. You got to go for it.
There's a certain swagger that goes along with the Vancouver Island Raiders. And I mean, you see it on some of these championship teams. You see it on, the Blackhawks last year, but not this year. But is that something you instill in the kids? I mean, or is that just you get it when you become a Raider?
There's cockiness and I think there's being confident.
Right.
And I think sometimes, being cocky is you're trying to fool people a little bit, but being confident is something that you work at, and you have to create a winning atmosphere at every single thing you do, and that's the one thing that we try to do. I mean, we discuss as a team after every practice, did we win the practice or did we lose?
Really?
And so we got to get better every day. And when you get better every day at practice, that's where the swagger comes.
Hadi, I want to talk to you about this because, being an owner of a team like this, people think, that it's a money-making proposition, and you guys are looking after some educational needs for these kids as well. Maybe talk of that and talk about, that, if you didn't love junior foot, you're not making money from this thing.
No, it's actually, that's a great question. Thanks for asking that. The perception is out there is that you make money, but for a 5 home game we have and 70 kids and 15 coaches, that we don't pay any of them.
And travel
and everything.
And
it's more, and it always is a labor of love, and what you do with the kids. And at the end of the day, when we go on the road and we need some money for food, we have to put the hand in our own pocket and do it. You have 70 footballers. They are not very cheap to feed.
Yeah. You mentioned it being like a family. That's a lot of hungry boys.
That's for sure. That's a lot of hungry boys, and it's amazing you said that. Look, I wish I could take a list of the local people we have that every Friday night or a Sunday night that they invite so many of those kids from out of town and they give them home cooking.
That's cool.
Like all the things behind the scene, like every Friday, Saturday, when they invite the kids, 10 of them, to the barbecue and feed them. And the best news for me is when they phone me and say, Hadi, they are so polite. They took their shoes off at the door. They always say thank you. They help us wash the dishes and everything. And to me, that makes it worth every penny and every dollar we spend on this program and all the hard work, because wow, you brought somebody that makes you proud. And that's what every father's looking for.
We're going to raise a little hell.
Yeah.
Oh,
hang on, here's a segue.
Forget Snoop Dogg.
Hey, I'll tell you right now.
Tell us about this night and about the fundraiser.
Trooper was one of the very first concerts I ever attended.
Oh, really?
Yeah, back in the day.
Aging yourself.
Yeah, and we're really, really excited on May 28th. And I know everyone does the dinners and the galas and the speeches and all auctions and all that stuff. And this year we decided, Hadi and Irene and we were putting this together. We just wanted to have a party and just one great night of partying and having a good time, and who else to bring in than Trooper?
Nice.
Right? So they're going to come rock Nanaimo May 28th, and it's just going to, it's a dinner if people are interested, and there's also going to be tickets available just for the concert, and we're going to sell that out, and it's going to be a great night of partying. And then we talk about scholarship fund. A big part of this goes to our scholarship fund. So let's have a good time, party together, and party for some good education.
We'll throw up the number here.
Yeah, we'll get everything up, and people can grab their tickets. Guys, looking forward to the season. And for viewers at home, we are in the works of doing a live game this year with you guys, and really excited to be covering the team this year. And just thanks very much for coming down here today.
When you guys come back in November, I want the left hand to be a little bit heavier.
Yeah, I know, you guys don't have quite enough jewelry yet. So
not enough bling. If you really want to be Snoop Dogg, you gotta have a bit more bling.
Maybe a couple around the neck as well. Guys, thanks so much for coming in. There they are, Matt
Blokker,
Blokker, Snoop Dogg, as we know him, and Hadi Abassi. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, guys.
And that is another edition of Game On here on the Big Six. Of course, each and every Monday night, your sports fix for 30 minutes, 7 o'clock, 10:30. Check 6. It is Game On.